Namaste, Jai Bharat. Let me ask this question. Do the US think that they are very smart and they are the only very smart people in the world? If they think so, that's self-stultification and self-deception. When you seriously look at the US brains, most of them belong to the Jews. Most of them belong to the Jews, and if you closely inspect or go deeper into the Jews, sometimes you will find a lot of Hindu DNA. There are many theories about Jews being basically have gone from Bharat. A lot of stories I do not know, but there are many narratives that I came across. And there is also a story that there were shivlings found in Israel. I do not know how true it is. This is what I heard. And then this one, of course, you can also read. One of the students of Aristotle said that the Jews are basically Hindus. Now these are all narratives. But I just wanted to say that Americans per se are not very intelligent people. They do not really have the brains. If you go and see, most of the brains belong to the Jews. Exceptions are exceptions either. So this question, why I am asking now is, if you think that I am very smart, it's okay. People will forgive you. World will ignore. When he says I am very smart, I am very intelligent, normally people ignore. Those who are sensible, they ignore. They don't take it seriously. Your smartness is demonstrated through your output. Let me put in one sentence: output. No, and then at the same time, if you think others are fools, I'm the only one smart, then you're talking like a fanatic religious person, mostly like the Muslims. I'm right and you're wrong. I'm the only one who's right and you all are entirely wrong. The attitude is akin to that. Now, why I say this is, look at the US. They say, whosoever is responsible, I'm not going to speak about the individuals, but certain decisions when it's taken by the US, there must be individuals responsible for such decisions. There must be individuals who have such authority or ability to push their thoughts into the minds of others. There must be individuals. The thought process should begin with one or maybe a couple of individuals or a group of individuals. Then they get discussed and gets implemented. So it has an origin with human mind. It's not the artificial intelligence makes such program. It's ultimately human mind. One or many, or a group, mostly a group, or at least begins with one. There must be someone who is accountable. This is where I find something positive in Hitler. Normally you don't find anything positive in Hitler, but there's one thing positive. He talks about accountability because he goes to the extent of speaking of responsible democracy. Besides the point, you can look for that. Why I say this is that, look, what should the US been doing? I don't want to take the names of people. That's inappropriate. They say, first of all, they made a claim that they stopped the Operation Sindoor, which is not the case, and our people are to speak to their face that you are wrong. You simply trying to take credit to whose? To eyewash whom? Something called as nobility. There's something called as honesty in interpersonal relations. If they don't understand it, I'm totally helpless. The entire world is totally helpless. Now look at their so-called magnificent, most efficient, most advanced aircraft, fighter aircraft, the F-35 ABC, so they may have B. Why did they? I don't want to speak into their backgrounds, everyone knows it. Why did they have to send their F-35, one of their fighter aircraft, which is equipped with recce facilities and other facilities for espionage? And it comes for espionage, believing that, this is only the beginning, believing that they can deceive everybody, and suddenly they realize that they can't deceive her. They have been caught red-handed. Then all kinds of lie series unfolds. First lie is that there's no fuel, which is common sense understanding that it's not possible. Second, after landing, they say they are unable to take off. They say that hydraulic, this thing, that thing. Anyway, till date the aircraft is still grounded here. It's defunct. An aircraft, a fighter, which took off from an aircraft carrier, strays into willfully. I would say that willfully strays into, that's now accepted by everyone, for espionage into the sovereignty of this nation, Bharat, and they don't want to accept it. Then a series of lies, episode 1 to 10, season 1 to 10, so many stories, so many series came. And the point is that, do they think that others are fools? Do they think that others don't understand? Then why telling lie? Lie should have a logical ground. When you speak a lie, you should be sure that the other person believes your lie. And if you know well the other person don't just believe your lie, then what's the point of lying? That you are lying to yourselves. Everyone understands that's a lie. And once again you repeat lies, what kind of self-deception one is getting into? What kind of eyewash one is getting into? We don't want anyone to accept anything. We don't want to force acceptance that he agree that my ego is satisfied. Let's not have ego. We are not discussing about ego. We are talking about nations. We are talking about geopolitics. We are talking about nation to nation relations, which ultimately is people to people relation. It ought to be the case. To what extent it is, it's open to you. Now suddenly the aircraft comes for espionage. Then it's revealed that it's come for espionage. And look at this kind of operation. The aircraft really belongs to the UK, the United Kingdom, the Britain. And they don't control the aircraft. US was giving instructions to the pilot, British pilot. And they were listening to them. What kind of compulsion it could be, I do not know. I don't want to know also. They may have their own compulsion. He was listening to that. He was carrying out the instructions given by the US. There must be individuals telling him things. There must be individuals thinking about these things. And those individuals think they are extremely smart. And others are fools. That's the point I'm trying to make. They are extremely smart and others are fools. They can't understand. But they have detected. Bharat that identified, detected and jumped. Did something which no one knows. Of course, why should anyone know? Did something which grounded the aircraft. They managed to bring it, then the pilot managed it down. Probably must have been escorted by fighters, etc. That's the usual protocol. And then it's still on the ground. And the lies continues. Alright, they wanted to do espionage. They collected a lot of data. Now all the data is supposed to be with Bharat. And now, who is directly responsible for this? The people who are directly responsible for this are the British. And beyond a point, they have nobility still left in them. The British are supposed to be very noble people. They have a history, they have a tradition, a lot of things we understand. They were in Bharat for 200 years. Though they kind of colonial rule, the nation, British nation, was not ruling. It was the East India Company, which we call as East India Company. They were doing all those things. But nonetheless, the individuals were British, the officers were British. They were unscrupulous, obviously, but still noble. There used to be some element of nobility in them. We know my father has worked with the British in those days, and many times they mutually influence. Whether they acknowledge it or not, we influence them, they also influence us. So that was the condition. That's a question of coexistence. They did coexist, and then finally, there's the time they have to leave. They had to live in Bharat. It's not a place which we could continuously colonize. That's our unfortunate time. First the Muslims, and then the Britishers. Some of the small nations also fine. So the entire responsibility US put on the head of Britishers, the skulked back. They were not in the picture. They were not at all in the picture officially. Whereas everyone knows that they are the ones who are making British do it. And finally British got fed up to the nose and they told everything to Bharat. The pilot exposed everything to Bharat. Must be things on record. We don't quarrel. We don't want to defame. We don't want to create problems. So we will settle things in a gentleman noble way. I don't use the word gentleman because that's mostly English. In a noble way, with dignity and self-respect. That these are the two things which one should learn from my nation: dignity and self-respect. We give it to others. We give it to others. I may talk about it later. Now, the British were responsible. Then they had to speak at some point in time. They told things that we were acting at the instance of the US. Nonetheless, the US sends a second F-35 for another kind of espionage. Maybe this time they wanted to test it whether Bharat really could intercept them, technically intercepting not the fighters, where really could detect them and identify them. So they did not enter our sovereign zone. They came near it, and then suddenly we challenged them, and they understood that we have been found. So he returns. Fine. Second mistake. That they were showing up, don't anyone come near our aircraft. Let no one come near our aircraft. Then we offered in a decent way, use our hangars. Not our fighter hangars. We offered it. Landed in a commercial airport, and there are commercial airliners hangar, Air India's hangar it was offered. They said, no, we'll keep it outside, and that area is full of this monsoon season. Rains, wind, storms, all kinds of things. This poor, unfortunate aircraft was made to stand there in bright sun, tropical area, bright sun and heavy rains. Continued so. They didn't let anyone go near, we did not go near. We keep trust and we behave. We have our integrity and decency. We won't steal through night too. They were afraid, and they were suggesting, which was it's an insult to us, that we will do reverse engineering and reproduce a copy of this. We don't have to do it. We have much efficient minds in our nation. Perhaps one should know. Those who don't know about Bharat, they don't know this. Those who know Bharat, they should know it. We have much efficient minds in our nation, and once facilities are facilitated, they will make wonders. They will create greater things than this. This instance of detecting the so-called impossible invisible aircraft is what more you want, that we are capable of doing certain things which you do not know yet. Lies and deceits. Then finally, the British telling everything, and US is still not speaking. Let them not speak. Now they are in a fix. Whether how will they take it back? They can't. They can't start the aircraft. I don't know what we did, but our minds created certain things which may not be, which I think is not known to others. They don't understand what we are doing. They didn't understand what we had done in Operation Sindoor, and it's only after Operation Sindoor some people have some idea about Bharat, that these people are not to be taken so lightly. We never show off, we never speak that we have a weapon which is invincible. They speak so. Our weapons are invincible, we can do this, we can do that. Let's not speak things. When things come, we will act. Like Bhagavad Gita speaks, karmanya vyadhikarasti. We perform our karma. Don't you know that you are dealing with a society which is the oldest civilization in man's history? That is why people forget. You think we are not descendants of those great minds? You can't question the great minds of Bharat. And at least we are descendants, there is something still left in us. When time comes, we can do things. When facilities are facilitated, as I told, things could happen, and we have done it. It's only when a location came, you came to know this. What is all those things? You think you are smart and others are not smart. Perhaps you should acknowledge the Jew's mind. Your brains are there, not anyone else. Don't study for Pakistan. The US seems to study for Pakistan because Pakistan does all these follies. Because they don't know, they don't understand, they have no real brains. Those with real brains don't do these things. You can't outsmart everyone in the world. There'll be someone better than you. So these kind of things, it is just destroyed the image, and it's very unfortunate. We are still friendly. We won't contemplate enmity. We have no enemies in the world. It's only when someone treats us enemies, we simply react. We don't try it. Look at this mess people have made. And the aircraft is still in Bharat. We don't want it. We don't want it. We don't want to keep it. We don't want to keep it in the museum. But we made it different. It's grounded. And no one is able to undo what has happened to it. I heard that British were asking the Bharat's DRDO people to start the engine or do something. I don't know what happened to that. If they do that, I think our people will be capable of making the aircraft fly back to where it came from. Let's hope things will work out better. Let's not be deceiving ourselves as that we are the best, we are the best, we are the best. There's an expression in a movie, Hollywood movie, the best of the best of the best of the best. Such things really don't exist. You can't always think that you're the best of the best of the best of the best. There are many best of the best of the best elsewhere in the world. He may look black, he may look blue, he may look yellow, he may look brown, and he may sweat, he may be hungry, but you don't underestimate his ingenuity, perception and intellectual ability. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.